someone I'm privileged to call a father figure in my life. Please, ladies and gentlemen, give a round of applause for Mr. Afolabian.
Good morning, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. It gives me great pleasure to officially welcome you to the second annual Nigerian-British Economic Summit. Last year, when the first edition of the summit was held, our underlying objective was to pull together the propelling power behind our experiences and professionalism as a people under a unified frontier for the progress of our common heritage. This we have consistently pursued, and the NBES 2019 will not be an exception. I am optimistic that by 2020, it shall be a scorecard of how far we have gone with our resolve today. During the course of my brief remarks, I will also state some of the milestones we recorded following the summit last year. However, before delving into that, the main agenda before us today is about charting a pathway for Nigeria's economic growth. I am certain that you will agree that indeed we need a definite, accessible, and less strenuous pathway to economic advancement. It is not a difficult task if we are prepared as a people to take the lead and do the needful without a complete reliance on government. Today marks yet again another significant milestone as we gather with a primary objective of applying our combined vast experience and skills for the purpose of Nigeria's economic emancipation.
So we're here at the Best of Nigeria 2019. ICE is one of the key sponsors of this event.
It's in way more, about 200,000 megawatts. I like to compare Nigeria better with Brazil because it's similar. They're kind of considered third world countries, etc. We have about 200 million people on both sides, but they generate 150,000 megawatts. So we have, just as the lady showed earlier on, the speaker, if you compare ourselves to other countries, we are so far behind. But as we said previously, that's a lot of opportunity for us.
That's the theme for today's meeting, the state of a nation, the state of Nigeria, and charting an economic pathway for Nigeria in the 21st century. Well, that cannot be achieved without collective leadership.
Yesterday we looked at a specific unit, development in Ekiti. But I want to look at what is happening around the housing sector in a number of areas.
Direct investment to the tune of 28% higher than the average. UK foreign direct investment is only third behind the US and China. Are you aware of that? So those of you who may be running agencies, and you've seen the UK have put out a big call now for the skills gap shortage because so many people have actually left.
It started when I was invited to come and do export of Nigerian yams from Nasarawa State some years back. And in the process, I found out that Nigeria hasn't really got international recognized standards for export of our agricultural produce. Okay, these are some of the key partners we are collaborating with. The Global Gap, COLE-CP, which are based in Belgium. Global Gap is based in Germany. And then the UK, different DIFRA, food standard agencies, and some UK inspectors. There is no international acceptable good agricultural practices in Nigeria. And this is the essence of introducing Global Gap, which is globally recognized agricultural practices.
My mandate today is to speak about the role of the diaspora, the role of diaspora in Nigeria in economic development via remittance. So we've had $2 billion from the central bank. We believe that there's $25 billion of formal official flows, recorded flows, but we believe there's another $25 billion that goes through the shadow market. So our view is there's actually about $50 billion going into Nigeria from its diaspora every year. Again, we take responsibility for those numbers. They are our own estimates. So that's why the diaspora holds a pole position. If you look at that $50 billion, it's definitely way above your oil takings for last year, Nigeria at least. And that is why those 10 million people outside are they're not more important, as Honorable Dabiri said, but they are quite relevant.
And I love everything to do with IT. And as you will soon see, IT is amazing. It's magical. When I say magical, all kinds of things can happen with the IT system. It's destructive. It's like an ocean wave. You either align with it or it takes you out.
I had lived here for about 30 years before I went back to Nigeria and have survived. And I'm still surviving. I call myself survivor because some people have come home and couldn't take the heat. For me, I can't thank our former president Obasanjo enough. He's my mentor. He was the person who really gave impetus to diaspora.
Economic development. So, I'm tracking you. Also work with you on that. And we're also trying to find out why do we pay the largest amount of money to remit money home? We're paying more than India and China.
It's that wonderful time of the year when we come dressed in our black ties and evening wear to celebrate each other.
Major General Dr. Akintunde Akinkumi retired.
I hadn't actually prepared any remarks because I thought it would be helpful to just kind of speak from the heart, as it were. And I can do that now that I have those wonderful letters RTD behind my name. The issue here, really, what we're here to do is twofold. One is we're celebrating what is known as the Nigerian diaspora in the UK. But I think there's a second part to it. And the second part is, how do you create synergy between that diaspora and our home country? And I think it's a two-way process.
Blessed to receive this award. To the organizers, I say thank you very much. To my friends of campus here as well, I say thank you. And to anyone that nominated me as well, I say thank you. This award is not just for me, it's for every Nigerian who's able to navigate between two opposite worlds.
We are appealing to you to please come back and be a member of a particular party and let your voice be your weapon. And nobody will kill you for talking in the party. Let that party choose the correct leader for you. And unfortunately, it's 3 minutes I have. And if you are interested, please, I'm still sitting down there.
Ladies and gentlemen, please permit me to stand on non-established protocol. And this is something we should export to Nigeria, where events are taken up by unnecessary protocol. So I was so happy that none was observed here tonight.
I'd like to appreciate every single one of you taking time out to be with us this evening as we celebrate few members of our community who we can describe as ambassadors. I'm not going to go into any speech of sort, but what I'm going to do first is to invite all the award recipients during British Award 2019 class. If you can please step forward.
Well, we just concluded the Nigerian British Awards 2019, and yes, it's been quite a successful outing. Grateful to God for the turnout, for the quality of recipients this year, and without a doubt, my prayer is that we just continue to raise the bar, ensuring that quality is our benchmark.